I still remember the night she said it, as casually as asking me to pass the salt. My best gift would be you being away from home for a week. She laughed afterward, pretending it was a joke. But as her eyes avoided mine, the words dug deep, planting a seed of doubt that refused to die. For years, I thought our marriage was safe, built on laughter, routine dinners, and the warmth of inside jokes only we shared. Yet in that moment, it all felt paper-thin, as though the foundation beneath us had been quietly rotting while I stood blind. I smiled to cover the sting, but I felt the sharp twist of humiliation wrapped in her humor. That's when the atmosphere shifted. Every word, every glance, every late return that followed began humming like static in the background, whispering, "Something is wrong." From that day forward, her joke haunted me. At first, it was the little things. Nights she turned in early but stayed glued to a glowing phone screen. Dinners replaced by vague claims of work emergencies. Laughter on calls she'd hang up the moment I walked into the room. Her hugs grew shorter, her kisses mechanical, her eyes never lingering on mine anymore. I tried telling myself I was paranoid. Maybe I had taken her words too seriously. But the unease wouldn't let go. Each smile she forced looked more like a mask. Each unanswered question echoed louder than the last. Her cruel wish had been more than a joke. It felt like a confession waiting to be uncovered. It was a Tuesday evening when certainty smacked me in the face. She was in the shower, steam curling under the bathroom door. I heard the ping of her phone left on the dresser, its screen lighting up again and again. Curiosity wrestled with dread. Finally, I picked it up. A message preview flashed from someone saved as Marcus, accountant. I knew instantly he wasn't her accountant. His words left no room for innocence. Last night was everything. Same hotel this Friday. My chest tightened as though the air had been punched out of me. I scrolled further, scrolling past declarations, plans, even jokes meant for lovers sharing more than accounts. The hissing of the shower drowned everything but my pounding heart. In that haze of steam, I realized the love I thought we shared had already drowned. I wanted to believe it was all just a misunderstanding, but denial is the cruelest drug. Instead, I started digging. Receipts tucked into the trash showed restaurants I'd never been to. Her car's mileage stretched far beyond what her late at the office excuses could ever explain. I pieced together her lies like a crime scene. One night, I followed her discreetly. My breath froze as I watched her park outside a hotel, met not by a coworker in a suit carrying files, but by him. Their bodies folded into each other with the comfort of people who had done this before. The image seared itself in my mind. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I simply stood still, hollowed out by the sight. There was no innocence left, no if. Only the crushing certainty that my worst suspicions had been the truest parts of my reality. If I was going to end this, I wanted her own actions to condemn her, not my word against hers. Over days, I collected everything. Screenshots of flirtatious texts, timestamps, photos of her entering that hotel, credit card records to trace the pattern. I created a timeline so airtight that even her silver tongue wouldn't wiggle free. The strangest part was the feeling that came over me. My sorrow began to harden into something steel-like. With every new piece of proof stored away, I felt control slowly returning. I was no longer stumbling blind in her web of lies. In my hands, I held not just evidence, I held clarity. The kind that cuts through fog and leaves nothing hidden. And I knew exactly when I would drop it all into her lap. The one night she least expected betrayal to come knocking. Her birthday dinner. Family and friends gathered at a long table, glasses clinking, voices chattering. She beamed in the center of it all, savoring attention, toasting herself. I waited until the candles were blown out. Then I rose, lifted an envelope from beneath my chair, and laid it on the table with a silence so heavy it swallowed the noise around us. "Happy birthday," I said softly. "Here's the gift you've been giving me all year." She opened it. Pages spilled out, screenshots, photographs, receipts. Her laughter cracked, her face paling as her eyes darted across words she had once written in passion. The guests froze. Forks hovered in midair. Her excuses tumbled over themselves, stammering, gasping, reaching for lies that no longer had breath to stand on. And me? I simply sat still watching. My voice did not tremble. My hands did not shake. I had walked through fire already. Now I offered her ashes, in front of everyone she wanted to impress. The air turned frigid. Conversations died. My wife's carefully curated world shattered in an instant. Friends shifted in their seats, whispering. Her family stared in stunned silence, disappointment cloaking their faces. She scrambled after me as I stood and walked toward the door, pleading, begging, her words nothing but noise. I didn't turn back. Watching her fall apart in the doorway was less satisfying and more tragic than I'd imagined. Still, I left her to clean up the ruins she had built with her own hands. That night, as the cold air hit my face, something remarkable happened. I felt free. She had asked once for her gift, to be a week without me. I granted her something better. Forever. Yes, my heart ached. Yes, pieces of me lay scattered in that restaurant. But each step away was a step toward dignity, toward peace, toward rebuilding. Betrayal carved a scar, but scars tell stories, stories of survival. In the end, she gave me exactly what she wanted. Distance. Only it wasn't for a week. It was for a lifetime.